It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports. That's right. It is Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon, my friend. I'm just in that Twitter space right now. It's, getting to be in double digits in November. Not quite Thanksgiving yet, so I'm waiting to get my Christmas, my Christmas shows, the lights, get everything going, get into the holiday spirit, if you will. But the weather's so nice, man. I can't think. Who's thinking about Thanksgiving and Christmas with this weather so nice?
And that weather is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Braylon Tom Mazawey, by the way, good afternoon to you, my friend.
How are you?
I'm doing good. You?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can.
We can hear you.
Did either of you guys take advantage of the last 2.5, 3 weeks where the weather has been so phenomenal outside? We are coming to an end now. Yeah. It's going to turn on Saturday, and it's going to stay turned until probably about end of April, early May. Did you do the lights outside in the nice weather?
The lights are not done.
Are you gonna do lights outside? Do you do Christmas lights or just
lights get put up? I don't do them. I just say that lights
Good
get put
for
up.
you, Brad.
I don't do them.
Good for you. Now, Maz, do you do the lights outside?
Kathy is the queen of the lights.
Really?
I hold the ladder and I hand her the hooks.
Okay.
But she's the queen. We haven't done it yet. We just finished up with Halloween. We still have the orange lights on. We'll keep them up for Thanksgiving. We'll hang the icicles probably maybe Sunday.
I did my lights a couple of weeks ago when it was 70 degrees on a Saturday.
It was Michigan's bye week.
That's right. It was Michigan's bye week. It was Michigan State's bye week, and I had to take advantage of it, so I was really happy to do that.
But you're not done, right?
No, I'm not done, but I'm going to finish it up on Friday. But there were, as you mentioned, Braylon, there's some, there's radio stations out there that are playing the Christmas music, and it is just so hard. I want to listen. Yeah. I want to get into the spirit because the longer it makes the season longer, it brings me joy. But because the weather is like springtime out, it's really hard to get into that mode.
And that's good, though, because, Christmas season is a long season. Like, for us, my family, we're always traditionally, at Thanksgiving Day at the house, everybody comes over, the tree is up, we eat Thanksgiving dinner. And, by the time dinner's over, like me and my sister, man, we're cracking out the first Christmas movie. We're dropping the first Christmas movie. Luther Vandross CD gets dropped that next morning, Black Friday. So that's when you get it. And you look at that, man, you're talking what is Thanksgiving, the 24th? So Black Friday is 25th. Man, you got a whole month. You got 32 days, essentially, of Christmas to listen to music, to go to the mall shopping, although people don't do that anymore, and watch whatever movies get you in the spirit. So that's plenty enough time.
And then you know what the 26th is, Braylon?
We are on location.
No, it's not. The 26th, Michigan,
Ohio State.
You going to Ohio State?
To be determined.
To be determined. So I bring it up for this reason, because my juices got flowing a little bit yesterday.
What got you going?
Jim Harbaugh on one of the podcasts had this to say. Let me put it up for you. This is the tweet from Zach Shaw. Jim Harbaugh on Inside Michigan Football's radio show. Here's the quote for you, ladies and gentlemen. Quote, "Our time is now. Our time wasn't last year. It's not next year." End quote. And yes, the head coach says the team is, quote, well aware that Michigan faces Ohio State in 18 days, now 17 days from now. This is something that gets my juices flowing, right? I mean, this is a coach that knows his team better than we know his team, better than you know his team, better than the experts know his team. This is a head coach that knows the kind of football team he has. And he is saying something that I hoped was the case a couple of weeks ago when I said, I think Michigan can win the national championship. I think this team, Jim Harbaugh, believes he's got a national championship-worthy team. It starts with a win at Ohio State, which would be Michigan's first there since Drew Henson quarterbacked the Michigan Wolverines in 2000.
That's amazing.
I'm 43 years old. Michigan has not won in Columbus since my junior year in college.
I'll do you one better. I wasn't even in college then. That was my senior year.
Wow.
It was my senior year. And that was actually, it was my senior year.
I don't know what the spread is, Maz. I think you said a couple of weeks ago it was a double-digit spread, I think
it's down to 10. I think at one point at the beginning of the year it was 2 touchdowns. Then it went down to 12. I think it's down to 10. I think by game time it'll probably be 9.5, maybe 8.5 by then. But was it Jim's first year that they played that 3-point game with the Ohio referee? Was that?
No, that was his second year.
His second
2016.
year. So that was as close as they've gotten to winning in Columbus. Am I correct?
In Columbus, yes.
Well, and that was a hell of a game. I expect the same type of game like that one was.
Listen. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, Bray,
you're excited. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love this man. I love this comma, man.
Right. I got you. You love this atmosphere.
I love this. I love the attitude. I love the confidence. Build confidence in this young team. Tell them they can go win at Ohio State. This is not a rebuild situation. This isn't something where you got to wait till next year until Ohio State comes here. No, go win this thing there and win a Big Ten championship, man. Got to get it done. Love what Harbaugh's doing.
Yeah, you got to really appreciate Harbaugh. Like if you pay attention to the arc that has been Harbaugh from when he first got in the University of Michigan, he talked about every game is just another game. No game is more important than that game. That's the game. That's the rhetoric that he gave us as fans for the better part of 5.5, 6, 7 years, 6 years, and he changed that tune last year. He talked about how much the Ohio State game meant last year. He talked about wanting to dominate that game, win at home for his fan base, and win the Big Ten championship. He was vocal about that. And what happened, Ryan Ermanni? Got his guys riled up. Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, Hassan Haskins, Blake Corum. They have the game of their lives. Michigan dominates, they win. They lose to Georgia, you come back. We reload after everything happens. They're winning. It doesn't matter how they're winning. They're finishing games, and in the second half of games, they're destroying everybody. And now he's like, you know what? I'm going to double down on what I said last year and what it would mean to beat Ohio State, and that's the goal. Now I believe we're in a situation where we can win the national championship. You know what that does to a team? When a team hears you say that out loud, when a team hears you say that out loud, a team is like, that's what I'm talking about. Now let's go back him up. Now let's go back him up with our play. So I'm excited that Jim Harbaugh has that energy. That's that BDE energy, man.
What did I tell you a few weeks ago about Harbaugh? This is the Harbaugh we've been waiting for. It started last year. Remember what I told you about that Michigan State trouble with the snap game?
The soul of Jim Harbaugh left his body.
It's back, and it's better than ever. This is the coach that we all thought was going to win for Big Blue from day one, and he's here now.
Yeah. And that's exactly what, when you made that comment, I was the one to say, you know what, you're right. And actually, this is the best version of Jim Harbaugh I've ever seen in terms of him adapting to younger players, to younger coaches, changing his policies so that his players can feel comfortable. One of the big things they talked about last year is the open door policy. Players felt like they were heard. They didn't feel like it was his dictatorship where he's just do. He's like, hey, what do you think about this, Sam Still? What do you got going on, Andrew Anthony? Are you getting open on this play? Like, he's listening to players. Now he has the confidence. He's instilling the confidence in these guys. They know they can beat Ohio State. You know why? Because he did it last year.
Right.
Now, granted, it was at home. Granted, there was a different quarterback. And granted, they got to go down to Columbus. This team is better than they were last year at this point. Statistically, chemistry-wise, together, they're flying around. That defense last year, it was a good defense. Obviously, David Ojabo, Dax Hill, Aiden Hutchinson, they're the catalysts on that team. Josh Ross. But this team flies around. Like, whenever there's a tackle to be made, 5, 6, 7 guys are around that ball when they're trying to get a tackle. Guys are trying to get the ball out. Guys are running in the secondary. Guys are all around. One of the biggest things that has hampered Michigan against Ohio State, they couldn't run like Ohio State. And now it seems as though they've caught up and made it even.
You touched on something that I want to explore a little bit further, and that is that Jim Harbaugh seems to be treating this game differently than when he first came in and really was at Michigan for years before it really seems like this thing got under his skin. And it was a turn last year. Right, I mean, the 2020 game that was called off from COVID in all the jokes about, oh yeah, they just didn't want to hang 100 on Michigan and this, that, and the other thing.
That was the low point.
That was the low point for him, and it was at that point that he started seemingly on the outside anyway. I don't know what he was doing on the inside, but on the outside, he was outwardly talking about this game a little bit differently than what we've heard in the past. Yeah. I think after they lost to Michigan State last year, for the first time, Jim Harbaugh talked about that Michigan State rivalry differently this year than he has in the past. At least that's how I feel about it. And again, to build this Ohio State momentum, I think is good for this program. And look, Jim Harbaugh took a shot at Ryan Day last year when he said, some of us are born on third base. That was a clear, direct shot at Ryan Day, and he wants to continue that. He believes in his team, and I just can't wait for this game.
Hey, what you said yesterday, Bray, still sticks with me. Yeah. As good as Michigan is, and as good as they look like they're going forward, they better take care of those wide receivers
100%.
Going forward.
100%.
Otherwise, you're just going to be a running team, old style, Big Ten, and it's going to die out. You need to feed those kids.
100%, because they'll hit the transfer portal and they'll get out of here and go to other schools. But the big thing is, this is when it really turned around, Ryan Ermanni. I'm going to tell you like this. 2 years in a row, Ohio State hung 50 on Michigan. One was 56, the next year was 59. And then the next year was COVID year, so they dodged the bullet.
62 and 56.
I cheated them out of 6 points total.
118 points in 2 years.
56 and 62. That is a butt whooping like no other. 2 years in a row. Then you get COVID, you catch a break, you don't have to play them that year. They said they would have hung 100 on you. Probably would have. Then you get to reassess. Jim Harbaugh, who am I? What do I want to do? Why is this not going my way? What am I doing in my coaching skills? How am I not approaching this the right way? Where can I make a change? And he sees that he's not approaching that game the right way. So he puts emphasis on it the next year. Michigan State happened last year because he's still thinking like, you know what? If trouble with the snap doesn't happen, I'll win that game. If I was a little smarter in the rain game, I'll win that game. A couple bounces here and there. So he didn't respect Michigan State's win.
They're not better than us.
They're not better than us. It's still the little brother mentality until last year you lose again. And then you realize you lost Mel Tucker's first year in COVID, and you start to look like, you know what? These both are the same level of preparation, the same level that they're above the other games on the schedule. You got to look at Michigan State, especially as way they have been whooping Michigan's butt. You got to look at that game the same as you look at the Ohio State game, and that's how you have success. So I'm happy to see that that's where his mind is now, because now the players can feed off that. If you're treating it like another game or a regular game, players are going to have the same energy. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing something different, if you're bringing former players in that week to speak every week. I mean, every day that week, you have a former player come in. You have him tell you about the rivalry, where he was at, what he did, what the rivalry meant to us, what does Michigan mean to you. You start doing things like that, you build the game up. Man, you have these guys ready to go, man, like literally on Tuesday. You don't have to get till Saturday.
What does Jim Harbaugh have to say about his running back, Blake Corum? We'll talk about that, college football playoff rankings as well. And where is Michigan when it comes to winning the national championship? All that and more. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? Tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today for peace of mind. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right. You and three people that you're thankful for sitting in row number one. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, gang, I got to get down to Big Boy. It's coming down to an end here. The limited time only deal with the loaded burgers and fries. Got to get down there and try them out. Try out that new one, the Big Jim. It used to be called the Slim Jim. Now it's even bigger and better. How about the Bacon Blue or the chili cheeseburger and those fries? You got to get them loaded up. How about the baked potato fries? Try those. Love baked potatoes. Got to do it. Nacho fries, chili cheese fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Thanks for making WoodwardSports.com part of your day. However you are listening or watching, we certainly appreciate it. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey talking Michigan football now. Michigan is 7-1 favorite, or 7-1 to win the national championship. Not the favorite, but
it's not bad.
Yeah, nonetheless.
It's not bad.
There's only two other teams with better odds, by the way, and that is University of Georgia, even money, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, that's pretty darn good.
Those are your three best choices.
How are you even money? That just lets you know what they feel about Georgia.
Right. You know what that means, though? Georgia ain't winning it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Rarely does it happen that I'm trying to think how many times the number one seed has actually won going into the playoffs. Now, I know, I'm trying to think. Last year, no. Was Georgia number one last year?
Well, they finished number one.
Yeah, they finished number one.
I'm talking about going into the playoffs. They weren't number one in the playoffs.
Behind Alabama.
No, we were number two.
They were number 1-4 because they won. No,
they lost though. They lost the SEC championship to Alabama.
I forgot.
So were we 3?
They were 3. It was 2-3. We were 2.
Oh, that's right.
Georgia was 3.
Yeah,
that's why we played them. So
damn.
The one usually never wins. Obviously, LSU.
That's right. Alabama, Cincy.
Exactly. LSU.
Oh yeah. How about that? Cincy got in last year.
Yeah. So if we're gonna break it down, we'll talk about what we saw last night, where Michigan is. I mean, I think Michigan. If you really want to play X's and the O's, I would say based off what I watched in the last 4 weeks, I would put Michigan above. But people are very scarce about Michigan's offense, and they see the high-flying things like that. This is why I look at the top 4 or even the 6 as they lay. Georgia's number 1. They're hands down. They're going to run through the schedule. The rest of their schedule, they play Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Georgia Tech. They'll be undefeated going against LSU. Ohio State, they play Michigan. Michigan, they play Ohio State. TCU is interesting because TCU plays a Texas team that should have beat Alabama. They play a Texas team that when Quinn Ewers is on is a pretty good team. So they play a Texas team they could lose to. They play a Baylor team that is ranked 2nd in the Big 12 right now that is also a pretty good team. So TCU is not coming out of here unscathed. I guarantee TCU will lose one. Tennessee, they play nobody. The rest of their schedule, they're the best seat in the house. They're literally just watching the whole thing unfold, and they have that win against Alabama as well as LSU on their resume. And then Oregon. Oregon's got the toughest road left. Yes, Oregon's got the toughest road left. They play Washington this week. Washington's 24th. They play Utah the following week, who's 13. Oh, by the way, Utah beat USC again. They play Oregon State University at tune-up, and then they have a collision course with USC. If Oregon wins out, they deserve to be in.
I was going to ask you about that, but Maz, go ahead, pick up from there.
TCU's old coach was Gary
Patterson.
Do you know he's on Texas's staff?
Yeah.
He's there for one reason.
Yep. And one reason only.
To stick it to him.
To stick it to TCU.
To stick it to him.
So, like you said, you love Texas this week?
Told you.
I might be all over that bet.
But I'm telling you, and this is when we talked about Texas early on in the year, when Texas almost beat Alabama and everybody was talking about how bad Alabama was because of that game. I saw it differently. I saw how good Texas could be. I saw how good Texas really was. They had a couple injuries. Quinn Ewers got injured as well. That Texas team is pretty darn good.
They're going to be players coming up.
They got some players. They got some things, some momentum going for it. Once again, Ryan, what's your favorite thing to say? They got themselves a quarterback. So watch out for TCU. They may mess around and lose twice.
Yeah, no doubt. And then it goes back into the situation you're at Braylon. I mean, everybody's talking about Tennessee, one loss in the SEC, but what if you can just sit there and not have the benefit of playing that extra game. Not the benefit, the luxury, I guess it would be. Tennessee has the luxury of not playing another game. Are you going to tell me you're going to leave Oregon out of a potential playoff after the road they would have to go through in November alone?
But they won't leave them out. If it plays out like we think it's going to, or at least how I think it's going to, Georgia will stay number one. They don't play anybody, and yes, we can have fun about what if LSU beats them, and they can be the first two-loss team to sneak in. Georgia's not losing to LSU. Let's just call that now. So Georgia stays number one. Michigan beats Ohio State, so Michigan's 2, and then 3 will be. Three would be Oregon.
Tennessee or Oregon.
It'd be Tennessee, and those would be your last 2.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right.
Tennessee and Oregon. This is if TCU's is 1. Like TCU has to be undefeated to make it. If they lose 1, they're out.
How does Tulane get in there?
And again, I think
back to the Rainbows.
I think TCU is going to lose this week to Texas, but nonetheless, back to Michigan for a second. They are doing this thing, and they are one of the most underappreciated, really good teams over the last couple of years, and I don't think they're appreciated. I don't know if I fully appreciate how well they're doing.
There's a reason for that. They have been underachieving for years. Now they're finally reaching what we all thought they were. Us Michigan people thought they were. They're becoming elite.
And I still they are becoming elite, but I still don't think they're fully appreciated. I mean, how many times do I sit here and say, I want them to score more points?
Yeah, you do it a lot, and as a former Michigan player, it's annoying sometimes. I'm like, these guys are sitting here 9-0, but I understand it. It's also from this standpoint, Ryan and Ermanni, everybody has been breaking down who they've played. So that's one of the things that keeps coming up. Who they played. They haven't played anybody. The schedule sucks, blah, blah, blah. The other thing, Ryan, is when you think of top 4 teams in the college football playoffs, the thing you think about when you imagine a team that's going to make it to the top 4, have a chance to play in the national championship, you think about Heisman Trophy, you think about a high, explosive offense, you think about a quarterback that's probably going to be getting drafted somewhere in the top 10 or the top 15. Michigan doesn't have that explosive offense. Michigan has that old school Bo Schembechler with some 2022 sauce and spice on it, and that's what you get out of Blake Corum, that offensive line, and that's how they've been beating up on teams. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. It's not getting the ball down the field. You watch Hendon Hooker throw for 400 yards. Guess what? You ain't going to see that here. You see Bryce Young go for 455 and 6 touchdowns. You ain't going to see that here. You see Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. The list goes on. Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, all these quarterbacks that have played in the Final Four, light it up. That's not Michigan, and that's why nobody is looking and appreciating Michigan's game, because it's 1972 football.
You mentioned Hendon Hooker. It's not sexy.
But right? it gets the job done.
It totally does. But I think that's where this awe-inspiring, from the heavens, God, from heaven above, looking down on your team, you're like, my goodness, they could be a little bit better. But hello, McFly, they're 9-0. On the brink of winning another Big Ten championship and another trip to the college football playoff, which would be back-to-back. You mentioned
22-3 in the last 25 years.
Unbelievable. You mentioned Blake Corum, the head coach, had this to say. This video courtesy of Brad Galley and Channel 7.
He's definitely having an MVP season for us here at Michigan. Be hard to imagine that he wouldn't be the way he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. Leading in touchdowns, leading in points scored, consistently really good every game. There's been quite a few backs who've won the Heisman Trophy, and I would bet my truck that Blake Corum is on pace or ahead of many of those running backs that have won the Heisman Trophy. I know had a great running back at Stanford, Toby Gerhart, who finished second. Blake has meant even more to this 2022 team than Toby did, that season. So there I go, making a comparison, which I should never do. But that one, two great players. It's like trying to compare. I always try to stay away from that, but yeah, Blake's he's except for some of the pro backs, Definitely, probably the only exception would be Frank Gore that I was able to coach. Blake is the best running back I've coached. We've been on the team with. So he means that much. He's having that kind of a season.
Best running back you've coached in college, you meant?
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah. Well, maybe just best back overall, Frank Gore. But Blake's got some years. He's still young. But he definitely has the license and ability in my mind to be, every bit as good as Frank Gore.
Just to put that in context, Toby Gerhardt that particular season finished with 2,100 yards and 28 touchdowns, and he finished runner-up because, of course, he went to Stanford. But this is the Jim Harbaugh I'm talking about. This is what I like to see. This is. Remember what we talk about when you get older, you start not caring, especially when you're winning. Especially when you're shoving it in everybody's face. You took the deal last year, you lowered your salary, bet on yourself, you came back, you flirted with the NFL and said, you know what, I'm cool, I made a mistake, I'm coming back to Michigan for good. You're sitting at 9-0, 22-3 in the last 25 games. When Jabril Peppers was in the Heisman contention, when he was in talks, it was, hey, I think he's playing pretty good. I think he's good enough to get there. And when you talk about Ohio State last year you talked about beating them. But whenever you talk about Ohio State, I think we match up pretty good against them. And whoever gives the most effort that day is gonna win. He talked like that. Now he's talking in absolutes. Now he's like, hey, look, we got a chance to win a national championship this year. This year, why not? You know what? Yeah, Blake's the best running back in the country. I think he should win the Heisman. In fact, he's the best running back that I've ever coached. Jim is now in this place where he's like loosening up, and he's letting out the things that may have been inside that he felt, but didn't necessarily say them to the players, say them to the media, so we have an inkling of his thought process. I like it, and I think he's right. Tell me why Blake Corum shouldn't win the Heisman at this particular moment.
And then tell me why you shouldn't feel confident that Michigan can go into Ohio State and win a football game on November 26th either. Is it just because they haven't done so since 2000? Just using a historical context? Is that the only reason, based on history, based on this 20-year history, or is it based on something you have seen in the game? Yeah. Is it something you have seen with your own two eyes? Is Ohio State's offensive line or defensive line so much more dominant than Michigan that you don't feel that they can carry their own weight in there? Is Michigan's defense so bad that you don't think they can hamper C.J. Stroud? Is it Michigan's offense is so their run offense is so bad that they can't hang with Ohio State?
I think they're one-dimensional. That's what scares me.
Okay, that's
fair enough. That's a fair criticism.
That is definitely a fair criticism. Last year when they played Ohio State, they were one-dimensional as well, and they won by 15. And Hassan Haskins had 5 touchdowns. This is what I say in terms of the national championship.
Thank you for reminding me.
Hey, we're on the same team.
Yeah.
But this is what I say for the people that talk about the national championship. Now, outside of Georgia, like when you talk about Georgia, yes, that one bothers me. That one scares me. They're still the same. They're actually better almost than they were last year, and that's scary considering what they had on that defense last year in Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Trayvon Walker, and the list goes on. But when you look at all the other teams, and you talk about why not Michigan, why they can't win. So you think Michigan can beat Ohio State? I think half and half the people out there think that. I think half think they can, half think they can't. That means some people think they can. TCU. We just talked about TCU potentially losing to Baylor and Texas. I know Michigan to beat both those teams. Tennessee just lost to LSU, who has 2 losses. And Tennessee, they didn't necessarily show me that they were the team. They're getting close. It's kind of like Georgia was. When Georgia fought a couple years, they were close, and then eventually they got over that hump. Michigan can beat Tennessee. Michigan can beat Oregon. Michigan can beat all these teams that Oregon's going to play. So when you ask me, can Michigan win the national championship, I say they can beat all those other teams. Georgia, I don't know.
And we'll just have to wait and find out regarding what happens in that. I guess you got to go step by step. I'm enjoying this ride, though, I'll tell you. I mean, over the years, we read the stat, from 08 to 14, how miserable it was to be a Michigan Wolverine fan. And now, all of a sudden, Jim Harbaugh comes. It wasn't what you thought it was in the beginning, but now it feels like it's there. And this is one hell of a ride to be a part of.
Here's one thing I will say. This is the one thing you have to err on the side of caution, Mass, to what you're talking about. You're 100% correct. Michigan can't afford to get down into any of these teams, though.
Sure.
See, that's the problem. Michigan can't afford to get down to Ohio State. They can't afford to get down to TCU. They can't afford to get down to Hendon Hooker. They can't even afford to get down to Bo Nix. And the way the Oregon is playing right now, that's the one thing that scares me, is they can't afford to look up and be down 14 to zip and press in the first quarter.
Side note on Blake Corum. Do you guys feel that he should be at least in the talk for a Heisman? Because he's not anymore. I know it's a quarterback.
Yeah,
it's
not
a
in the talk
quarterback
anymore?
award. I know that.
Yeah.
He's not in the talk right now?
He's not. Because let's put up that stat again from earlier.
Or do you want
that we had the top teams, and then of course we had the top Heisman runners on there as well.
So there it is. CJ Stroud, Hendon Hooker, Caleb Williams, 3 quarterback, and probably.
Well, that's because they're only doing 3 players. Like the Heisman,
sometimes it's 4 players, sometimes it's 5 players, sometimes it's 3 players. You never know how it is. I am not an individual award guy. If there is one individual award I pay attention to, it is the Heisman Trophy. But nonetheless, a running back is just not going to win it anymore. It's 2 running backs in the last 30 years have won this award.
If you took him away from Michigan, what kind of team would they be?
Same team as Michigan State would have been without Kenneth Walker last year.
Yeah, they'd be interesting.
Guys, they got to get a break. I do want to mention Michigan State and talk Michigan State as well. Big win against Illinois on Saturday. I think that's worth talking about and seeing what you think about that program. But fellas, gotta tell you about my friends from Custom Health Centers. Got on the scale today. You ready for this?
What'd you get, buddy?
14 pounds down.
Congrats,
the people
man.
are looking at yours truly saying,
that boy looks good, man.
Come on now. And what is Custom Health Centers? That's the thing. It is custom to you. Whatever I need may be different than what Maz needs. Maz, you're doing good, though, aren't you?
I'm trailing you, but I'm down at least. I'm 4 down.
You're
compared
down?
to you.
Listen, you're down.
You're down.
That's down.
The goal.
That is the point. Whether you need to lose 20, 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers has a plan for you. It's custom to you, and it is working like, I gotta tell you.
Look at this guy.
Hey now, whatever that was me zipping up I could finally zip up the zipper here. Nonetheless, having a lot of fun with it as well. Just feels good, man. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
And people are noticing it, man.
People are noticing.
And they're asking
that's the
you.
best thing.
And they're asking you. They want a piece.
Yep, no doubt about it. It's been they've helped many professional athletes lose weight and improve their health too. People like Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion, former Detroit Piston Rick Mahorn. If you would like in on this, call Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-FIN. That number again, 844-789-FIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Well, check it out. Go see my man Mike Phillips over at Keller Williams Legacy in Dearborn. 23 years he's been in the game, and he's #1 for a reason. He gets results. Whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest, it's his top priority. Call him now, 313-403-0011. That is 313-403-0011. Game on.
Guys, I want to stick with college football. We'll get to the NFL and some, I think, pretty big news in the NBA. Get to that in just a little bit as well. But first, Braylon, Michigan State. I don't think anybody anticipated they go to Champaign after the week that they had, after the turmoil they had in that program, and went and beat a ranked team, many people believe, who would win the Big Ten West Division and have a date with Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. But that's exactly what they did. What did you make of how Michigan State went down there and got a win and really, I don't want to say saved their season, but really went down there and kind of salvaged a complete spiral?
You know, it was a win. It was an ugly win. I mean, you saw the win. It was an ugly win, but the wind was blowing like crazy. It was the same wind, the same area, state of Illinois, kind of similar to what you saw in that Ohio State Northwestern game. That's where they blamed the low scoring and the lack of efficiency out of C.J. Stroud. So the same thing happened down there in Champaign. It was an ugly game. It was windy as hell. If you look at the stats, Illinois dominated Michigan State, but it's not about that. It's about finding the plays that you need to win, finding the turnovers, and making the plays in that moment. This is a good win for them. Look, man, this is the state of Michigan. Now, do I hate them when we play against them? Of course. Michigan State is my rival, so I do not like them. But at the same time, you want to see Mel Tucker have success. You want the state of Michigan to do well. You want to see Michigan State rebound after that ugly incident that was the tunnel 2 weeks ago now. So to get a win down there in Champaign, especially against a team that's ranked, it was a good job by them. Michigan State always finds these random ranked wins. You look at the COVID year, they beat Northwestern, who actually won the West in the Big Ten. They beat Michigan that year. Last year, they beat Michigan. They always find one of these ranked wins, even when they're playing terrible.
I'll just be honest with you, because that's what I am. I didn't want them to win. I never really want them to win, to be honest. So, beating Illinois, I tapped my hat to them. Brett Bielema was whining. Did you hear him after the game?
Yeah, they got hurt every play.
Yeah, he was like, we couldn't get rolling. They were fake getting hurt. They were slowing us down. Brett, you didn't coach your team up, man. How do you lose that freaking game, Brett Bielema?
A lot of coaches have excuses in the Big Ten. I'm starting to notice that. It's starting to be a pattern.
How do you lose that game to a team that was beaten down like that, down 8 starters, down 8 players, 2 really good starters on that team? One the linebacker, I forget his name.
Kobe Wyndham.
Yeah. You don't even have him. And they beat Illinois on the road, and now they're 10-point favorites against Rutgers. And you laughed when you saw that. You said to me, Ryan, you said, that's a mistake, right, man? Rutgers is favored. I'm like, no. Rutgers stinks. Michigan State is back. They beat Illinois on the road. So, do I want them to win? No, I don't want them to win. Was I surprised they won last week? Very.
I don't have a rooting interest at all, to be honest with you. I couldn't care less whether they win or whether they lost, but because they did win, no, I really don't. I have no emotion whatsoever towards Michigan State at all.
I like them losing. That's just me.
It was fine. I was so shocked by it. I was so surprised because I really felt, and still potentially could be, that after the week that they had, the thing was going to spiral out of control. And I think you have to give them credit, whether you want them to win or whether you want them to lose, because they did hold that thing together in the 7 days after the incident in the tunnel at Michigan. When they could have gone a certain way and kind of dug themselves an even bigger hole, they didn't, kind of rallied together. And I think you've got to give Mel Tucker credit for that. Whether you like him or not, I couldn't care less about the guy, but you got to give him credit.
You definitely got to give him credit for it. I will give him credit for being able to refocus, block out distractions, and have a focus week of practice that got you a win. Like, the game was ugly, but a win is a win. We talk about that. But in terms of giving them credit, you're talking about a team that was 11-3 last year. You're talking about a team that was 11-3. I understand K9 is no longer there, and then Jalen Naylor is gone. Outside of that, you got a lot of players from that team last year. So being a team in Illinois that hasn't been proven to be that good of a team, I mean, this is what they paid you $95 million for. So this is, the job comes with bumps and bruises. Now, that was a hell of a bump, and that was a hell of a bruise in that tunnel, no pun intended. But $95 million, this is what comes with it. You have to find ways. You got to be able to get over adversity. You got to be able to refocus the troops. When you get $95 million, man, all that excuses and all that other stuff, it goes out the window.
All right, so go to the West now, Big Ten West. Who comes out of there?
Illinois and Purdue, I think.
That's who it's going to be?
Figures down to Illinois and Purdue, I believe.
So Illinois still there, still on top, 4-2. And then you've got Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, and Minnesota still sitting at 3-3. But here's where it gets interesting. Illinois plays Michigan next week. So
It's interesting where.
So 4-3.
So 4-3.
Oh, yeah,
so they're going to have that third loss, and you're going to have Illinois, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, Minnesota, all with 3 losses. So there's a lot to be determined.
Are you scared of any of those teams?
Oh, God, no.
No, hell no. The thing about it, too, though, right now, Illinois will still hold the lead because Illinois' one loss in the Big Ten will be to Michigan. Well, actually, their 2 losses in the Big Ten will be to the eastern side. It won't be to the west.
Who do you really want to come out of it as a Michigan fan? Let's say Michigan beats Ohio State and they're in the final. They're in the championship.
You know what, man?
Who do you want to play? You don't want to play Illinois again.
Hold on. You know what, Maz? You never want to play a team twice. Even though Illinois is bad, Michigan should definitely roll them twice if they play. You just never want to play a team twice. You just never know.
Right.
I mean, just ask the Patriots and the Giants.
Yeah, you don't want to
go back
do that.
to that. But with that being said, the fact that they don't play for so long, which is one of the biggest gripes you guys had all last year, it doesn't matter. Because if you were telling me, all right, cool, they're going to play the first round of the playoffs the week after the Big Ten championship game, well, now you got to look at, okay, who's going to be a tune-up game? Like, who's going to be a tune-up game? I play a Purdue, or, I play Wisconsin, a one-dimensional team, doesn't have a good quarterback. All they do is run the ball. You can keep that in front of you, nice tune-up, get you to the playoff.
And they play Minnesota this week. Both teams 3-3. The winner of that game is going to feel real good about themselves.
Yeah, I'm giving a favor. I'm favoring Minnesota all of a sudden on that West somehow.
It doesn't matter who you play in if you're Michigan going on the side. Minnesota was there for a minute earlier. We thought they were going to be team of the year.
And they have a good running back. Abraham is terrific.
Honestly, and
it doesn't matter.
I hope this doesn't sound like cocky Michigan fan because it's not cocky Michigan fan.
When you start like that, then they're going to think it's that.
But
Absolutely.
It's just a realistic take. The Big Ten sucks. I mean, there isn't a friggin' team in this Big Ten outside of Ohio State that scares you.
You're right.
There's just not. This Big Ten, the 2022 version of the Big Ten, is absolutely the Big Two and the Little 8. Remember the Big 2 and the Little 8? It's the Big 2 and the Little 12 now.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about the other day. I was talking about the Big 10 going backwards in terms of you start off with these routes when you don't play anybody at the beginning of the season. Until UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington, they come in and make a hole
Can't get here fast enough.
The Big Ten is going to suffer because your only 2 teams are going to be Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State if you want to add them in there for whatever. Those will be your 3 teams because now with the NIL, all those teams down south, all those teams out west that were already doing NIL stuff anyway, they already know the game. So kids aren't going to go to Purdue if they can go to Arkansas and get paid $1.5. A kid isn't going to go to Northwestern or Michigan State or Rutgers or TCU. You can go to TCU. You can go to Baylor. You can get paid. You can stay in some warm climate, and you have a better chance to get to a playoff game or get to the college football playoffs down in the South, man. Kids aren't coming up here anymore.
Hey, I got an idea to run by you guys.
Unless they're going to Ohio State, Michigan.
Boom.
Okay, since you're playing conference championship games still, and there's not a 12-team playoff yet, why not give a week off in between the regular season and that championship game? And that's less time that you got to wait to play the playoff. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, we talked about that ad nauseum all last year. Because you and Ryan were talking about that.
What I'm saying is instead of playing it the following week after the regular season's over, wait a week. For everybody, all the conferences, wait a week, then play, and it's less time off heading into the New Year's.
Well, these conference championship games are just money grabs for the conference.
Yes,
they're totally meaningless until they mean something, if that means anything, right? I mean, they're totally meaningless
Most
games.
of them are a waste of time.
Right.
This is a great example of that being true. This year is a great example because the best 2 teams in the Big Ten are Ohio State, Michigan.
Right.
Whoever wins that game shouldn't even have to play in the Big Ten championship, so somebody can get hurt.
You should get a bye.
Actually, they should play again.
Just crown them, right? Just
play again.
There should be like a requirement. Like you can only have 2 losses coming out of West and have to play a game or something. I don't know.
No doubt. Guys, want to get to the NFL next? We have our midway season point. Division winners, wild card winners, and hell, we'll give you a Super Bowl pick as well. We'll do it all next, but first a message from Front Row.
All right, we got a new Front Row for you. Who wants to sit front row on Thanksgiving Day to watch Detroit and
Detroit.
Buffalo go at it. How about it? Who wants to see Thanksgiving Day football?
They might beat the Bills, man. No Josh Allen.
Hey, it's for you right there. For you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row 1. Here's how you do. All you got to do is to retweet or share our post on Twitter and Instagram. Tag 3 of your friends or family. Make sure they're following, of course, Woodward Sports. And if we pick your name, you and your crew, we'll all go together. The 4 best seats in the house at Ford Field. Hop on Twitter and Instagram. Tag your crew. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Center. Who wants to sit front row on Thanksgiving Day?
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding, but it comes with great responsibility. If you sit on local sports, youth sports board, homeowners association, or you volunteer as a coach, directors and officers must be insured. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. To do that, go see my man Mark at Swiss Insurance Group.
So before we get into the NFL, guys, something happening at Matt. You got something real quick? You're laughing over there. You got a smirk on your face.
I'm laughing, but it's NFL related. I guess I can wait a second.
Give me a minute because
take your time.
There's something very intriguing about this to me. See what the Nets did today, the Brooklyn Nets?
I did.
They have dropped...
they hired Julius Erving as their head coach?
No, they have dropped the interim tag off of Jacque Vaughn. They have made him the head coach, and why that is significant is because remember all the talk about them hiring Ime Udoka from Boston.
So your wish is still out there.
It is. I mean, it does give me hope that he will be the Pistons head coach next year to grow this young Pistons team like he helped grow the young team of the Boston Celtics. But does it give you any sort of what's going on here kind of thing, or is it a financial thing?
Maybe he slept with Joe Ty's wife now. The Nets owner.
When this first came out, what did I say? I said he hit the wrong person. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, what's your initial thought about that? Because I thought this was a slam dunk that you go with Udoka. Although I said if I'm Udoka, I wouldn't touch this job with a 10-foot pole. This is a bad job. This is a bad job, the New York Nets.
It really is.
The Brooklyn Nets.
That job is going to be surprisingly better than you guys think. But getting back to Ime Udoka, my initial thought was this. The Brooklyn Nets, I guess I was right. The Boston Celtics, they really are trying to punish Ime Udoka for whatever he did. I guarantee you. They said to the public, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll let him leave. Like if he gets a deal, he can't have the money we owe him. We'll let him leave." Nah, that's not what's going on here. They're trying to punish him for whatever they feel he did in a consensual relationship, which is personal. It's his own business. You guys put it out there. They're trying to punish him, but at the same time, they like being in the NBA finals last year. They enjoyed being in the NBA Finals last year. They know that they got their team for the future. And you added Malcolm Brogdon at the point guard position. They want to punish him, but they don't want to let him go, especially to a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who they're going to have to compete and contend with. So I think it was good if, let's just say I'm right, and the Boston Celtics held the deal up, then that's what you're seeing. They're still trying to punish him and hold on to him. But if it's the Brooklyn Nets and Josiah, and they looked and say, you know what, we already have chaos. We don't even need more chaos, even though it was consensual relationship. We'll just get Jacque Vaughn, who's been in our system. He knows the guys already. And Jacque Vaughn has been a head coach in the NBA already with the Orlando Magic.
Now, that's what this ESPN story is alluding to, is why the Nets backed off. Yeah. That's an intriguing thought, though, if you think that Boston potentially held this up on their end. I did not consider that because the ESP who's on this report.
Because isn't it funny? Like
this is a Woj. This is a Woj report. I mean, Woj is rarely wrong when it comes to this
Woj is never wrong.
Do you remember the players on Boston, Marcus Smart and all those guys? They were like,
caught off guard.
What do you mean he's going to the Nets?
Right. Yeah. It's a suspension.
So they might
back next year.
They might have crapped all over it and changed the Boston franchise's mind.
Woj is rare. I gotta give Woj is rarely wrong though.
He's never wrong.
He is alluding to that. He's alluding to option B that you just gave and said, hey, there's so much chaos going on with Kyrie Irving. I mean, we don't need any more chaos. So anyway, I found that intriguing, and my hope of Ime Udoka as the Pistons coach is still alive and well.
What's going on with that? Never mind. I don't even feel like opening up that can of worms. But yeah, you get Jacque Vaughn. Jacque Vaughn knows those guys. He's been on that team. He knows that system, and he has been a head coach with the Orlando Magic. So hey, you know what? Now, once again, here's the conversation you got to have as the next man taking over for Steve Nash with this group. You got to have a real conversation, man. What do you guys want to accomplish?
No doubt.
You got to pull, and you don't even need to be the whole team. It just needs to be those three guys. You need to pull them in a room together and say, hey, man, what do you guys want to play for? What are you guys and your goals? What do you guys want to accomplish this year? Because if you don't want to accomplish anything, let me know now. I'll change my coaching strategy. But if you think that everything is still in front of us as it was before the season started, we got some work to do.
If they don't win this year, they're done.
Done.
This is
totally.
This is their last chance to win.
No doubt.
Period.
So anyway, guys, NFL, let's get to it. This is fun. Midway point in the NFL, and we came up with our division winners. It's I feel like it's pretty easy to look at the mid-season records and come along with it. So who wants to go first? Who's coming first? Maz, you want to go first?
You said it's easy to look at the what and say what?
Look at the records now and project the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go first.
No, because it's still a wacky year. It's still a very wacky year. Go ahead, man.
We'll see. Maz, you go first, buddy. What do you got?
All right, here's what I got. I'm going to go 1 through 7.
Okay.
We'll start in the AFC. Okay, there it is for you. I'm going with the Bills to hold serve in the AFC East. I think they will get well. I think Josh Allen will hopefully get over that elbow injury, and they'd still win that division, Miami finishing second. But only the top 4 have to be division winners. So the second will be Kansas City. That's easy. I like the Titans to finish up in the South, and I like the Ravens to hang on and knock off the Bengals and win that division. So that's my top 4. Then I got my wild card teams as the Dolphins, Jets, and Chargers in that order. I think the Jets are for real. I really like where they're going. I like what Robert Saleh's done with them. Go to the NFC, it's easy. Eagles, Vikings. Here's where I changed from you guys, I think. I like the Niners to win that division. I like the Niners to not lose for the rest of the year, maybe one more game. And I got the Bucs to win that hapless NFC South. And my wild cards, Seahawks playing great football, 6-3. I think they could easily make a wild card. Cowboys finishing second in the NFC East. And how about those G-men hanging on for dear life? And three teams out of the NFC East where we thought it would just only be one. And it's turned out to be one of the better divisions. So I kind of hold serve with all my stuff here, except I bumped the Niners up to number 3.
Who's your Super Bowl right now if you had to pick?
I got Niners and either the Bills or Chiefs. If you're making me pick today, I got the way both teams are right now, I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then to win it all, I like the Niners. I do.
Not bad, man.
It's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, it's going to be pretty similar to everybody else's. Yeah.
Bray?
In terms of
you want to go?
We can do mine.
Yeah.
You can put mine up there. Put on up there, Fletch. I went a different route. I got the Chiefs, number 1 seed. They won that division. I don't think the Chiefs will lose another game. The Dolphins as the 2 seed. This is where I switched it up.
Wow, that's big.
This is where I switched it up. I got the Dolphins ahead of the Bills, and I got the Dolphins winning that division. I got the Dolphins winning because they beat the Bills already. With Josh Allen's arm not really being up to speed, not to mention the last 2 weeks in a row, he hasn't looked good, period.
No.
2 interceptions
He's
2
kept
weeks
it on
ago.
the ground.
3 interceptions this week. This doesn't look the same. Not having that running game is really hurting those guys. I'm telling you that. The Bengals, I think the Bengals will come out of the division. It's Joe Burrow. It's Joey Cool. He's finding that rhythm. And they're winning without Jamar Chase, so you know what that means when he comes back. The Titans, hey, look. You can't even say anything about the Titans, but it's Derrick Henry and it's November. So it's the Titans at 4, Bills, Ravens, Jets. I agree with you, Maz. The Jets are for real. I got them as the final seed. And the NFC side, I think I pretty much have it almost exactly as you. The only difference is you got Seahawks 3, and you have the Niners 3, and I have Seahawks.
Exactly.
I think the Eagles, the Vikings, the Seahawks. I believe in the Seahawks. The Bucks. They'll win that division. It's so ugly, but you did see Tom still has enough to at least win the NFC South. The Cowboys, they're sleeper in that division, and then Niners and the G-Man. Super Bowl for me will be, I'm going Chiefs.
You're taking your team. You're taking the Eagles.
Chiefs and Eagles.
You got to do it.
I'm going, but here's the thing. Here's the kicker. You guys didn't even think about it. Chiefs versus Eagles. Andy Reid gets to beat his former team in the Super Bowl.
Look at that. I did not consider that.
There you go.
Here you go. Here's a look at mine. I in the AFC, I've got the Chiefs being number 1 as well. I mean, they just look like they're at a different level right now, even more so than the Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills got some problems with the quarterback being a little bit injured.
And remember, being number 1, that's the only bye.
Only bye.
That's the only bye.
And again, I think home field matters in this game. And the AFC Championship game, too. And that is why I'd put the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Are any one of those teams going to be able to compete with Kansas City? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I do have the Bengals overtaking. Braylon, you sold me on this yesterday. I do have the Bengals overtaking the Ravens in the division there for the lead. Titans, there's just nobody else that can go. And I got the Chargers sneaking in.
With the AFC, with the Bengals, man, and with the Ravens and the Bengals, it's just too much inconsistency with the Ravens. They don't play good fourth quarter defense. Lamar Jackson does not play well in the fourth quarter. He struggled pretty much the last 6 weeks of the season with the last week. I mean, they got a win, but it wasn't very pretty for Lamar Jackson, not to mention injuries for Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens.
Barring a major injury in the NFC, arrange them however you want to arrange them. I think the top 4, I think the top 5, I think this is the 7 right here.
I tell you what,
this is the 7.
For AFC or
for the NFC?
There's one sleeper in the AFC. It's the Broncos, man. Don't count my Broncos out,
I don't like the Broncos
Don't
at
count
all.
the Broncos
They're
out.
sleeping all right.
They just traded away half their defense.
No, they didn't. They just traded away one player, Bradley Chubb.
Well,
he's a damn good player.
Yeah, it's like the Rams trading away Aaron Donald if they want. You know what I mean?
They still got a lot of players on the team. They got Simmons, Surtain.
Either way, the
Brady.
NFC to me is this is what it is. And I don't know what's gonna. You go ahead and change the Seahawks and the Niners if you want. Make the Niners a wild card team and the Seahawks the division winners if you want. But that's your 7. I don't even see a scenario where another team can get in.
Well, the Rams are still the champs. We all counted them out, and there's a whole second half of football to go. If any team can turn around, it's got to be the Rams.
I disagree. When you watch the Rams play this whole season, Matt Stafford is back to the Matt Stafford of old, the one that we know they used to play for this team that I'm wearing on the hat. Actually, he looks even worse than that. They have no running game. They have no inkling of a running game. They don't play Cam Akers. Second, they don't run the ball at all. They are the second worst team in the NFL, only behind Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They can't run the ball. They don't get their full offense involved in the game. He's only looking for Cooper Kupp. That's the only place that he feels safe. Allen Robinson has been open.
How did this happen?
Well, I mean, you look at it this way. Andrew Wentworth leaves, so now your left side, your protection, like your safety blanket, much like Fletch is for us. That guy left. People didn't realize how big that was going to be. Vaughn Miller is a guy, once he got there, once he got rolling, he's the reason why you guys won the Super Bowl. You got Aaron Donald right next to Vaughn Miller with Leonard Floyd on the other side. Like, come on, man. And then the secondary. Man, they're giving them so many plays. I'm watching Jalen Hurts, and it's Ramsey. And it's interesting. The first game of the season, we watched that. It was Stephon Diggs versus Jalen Ramsey. And he just looked like the same guy that struggled against Jamar Chase, that struggled against Mike Evans in the playoffs. Something is going on in that secondary with Jalen Ramsey. This team won't recover.
Guys, you know what the LA Rams are right now?
Looking for a good pick for us.
Well, but the LA Rams are the Detroit Lions, just in different uniforms. Not our Detroit Lions. The LA Rams are a Detroit Lion-led Matthew Stafford team.
Well, they got Aaron Donald.
In that case,
that's Sue.
That's Ndamukong Suh.
I know, but we were better than the Rams are now.
I understand, but they got no running game. They got no defense other than Aaron Donald. Stafford only throws to Cooper Kupp. He only threw to Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the same team, just a different uniform.
There's one big difference. Sean McVay is on the sideline. Sean McVay is on the sideline.
Sean McVay's been on the sideline the whole season.
Yeah.
He's been on the sideline the whole season. Like, you don't, the people don't, and we forgot to mention Odell Beckham. I don't know how we didn't mention Odell Beckham.
You know who we forgot to mention too? Kevin O'Connell.
We can do that next. We'll do that all next. First, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health as well as substance use disorder. Their podcast, This is the S Word, and the S Word means stigma, because Sean Jordan and SMA are trying to destigmatize mental health, as should we all. It is okay to not be okay, but with that being said, you got to know where to get the information. You got to know where to have a conversation. Well, go to thesportsma.com. They do a great job of illustrating problems, issues, things, information, help. Very informational. thesportsma.com.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right, you and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports too, and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Only at Big Frog can you get yourself a free Woodward Sports t-shirt.
Big Frog,
all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in today, tell them we sent you, and they will hook you up by printing you one right on the spot. So stop in today at Big Frog Novi to get your Woodward Sports free t-shirt, or you can always check them out online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Big Frog, baby. That's right.
Get your t-shirt, man.
Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, JB. How you guys doing today, by the way? Fletch, you good? What's happening, baby? Come on, Fletch. Yeah.
Hey,
Fletch!
I'm doing pretty good today. A little tired, a little busy, having some fun though. Talking Detroit sports.
Killing those graphics there, Fletch.
Thank you.
Killing the music is the one, the only Jeremy Bryant, representing the red, white, and winged wheel there.
There you go. Yeah, you know it. Red Wings all day.
I was there last night.
This was Jerome Bettis. It's not Jerome Bettis. It's JB, man.
How was that game last night, Maz?
I had the best seats of my life for a hockey game.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Courtesy of my man, Rich Adamo.
Okay.
From Adamo Demolition.
Demo.
Yep, Demo. He's got the sweetest seats in the biz, man. I was sitting 6th row on the blue line. but right next to me, like I put my right arm and I could touch the Red Wing bench. That's how close it was. Because then there's like a little partition there, and it's 3 rows to the bench. So I was sitting 3 rows off the bench, and I watched a team that didn't play their best hockey last night, and they still got a point. Montreal got a couple of cheap goals on us, and it was a fun game. I saw a penalty shot. Dylan Larkin
missed it.
Yeah, then I see again.
I see an overtime 4-on-4. Really, missed. No action there, and then the shootout finally, and the Canadians wound up winning. I'll tell you, a ton of Canadian fans there.
Really,
but what a great place to watch a game, man. Little Caesars Arena. Hats off.
Do you know I've not been to Little Caesars Arena to watch the Red Wings game?
Yeah, we talked about this. I'm trying to get you to go.
You got to get there.
Yeah. Are we going on Monday to the Pistons?
Why don't you go tomorrow? Rangers are in town.
Oh, Rangers are in town.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is you would appreciate this, Maz. And the Red Wings outplayed the Canadians. Like, if you watch the game, if you listen to the game, the Red Wings outplayed them. Like you said, Canadians got 2 cheap goals, and Dylan Larkin missed on the power play, and then he missed on the overtime shootout.
The Red Wings power play is powerless.
Yeah, he's the only one that actually scores. That was his first miss on the power play. I think he scored 4 of his goals have been on power plays this year. But what I would say is this, man, you would appreciate this. So I'm leaving my boy Max's house.
Shout out to Max.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Max. Leaving Max's house on the way home. Turn on the clicker because I know the Red Wings are playing. And, man, I just listened to the Red Wings game like the whole way home. And it took me back. It was very nostalgic. It took me back to my dad, like listening to 1200 a.m. or 1170 back in the day and just listening to the radio with him. I hated it then. I was like, why won't this man play music? I'm so tired of hearing these blowhards talk about nothing. I said, play some music. But now I'm 39 on the way home. I wasn't listening to music. I was listening to the Red Wings.
You think about the play-by-play guys we got on the radio here in this town.
Oh, we're
between
lucky.
Ken Cal,
they're good.
Dan Dickerson, Dan Miller, and Mark Champion on the NBA.
Mark Champion,
phenomenal.
The radio is where it's at.
I'll tell you, I love sports on radio.
Yeah.
My favorite sport on radio, hands down, is baseball. Hands down.
You know what it is, Matt? Because it's like people that I'm not a big reader. Like, I'll read articles. I'll read clips.
Started listening to books.
I'll listen to books. My mom's heavy into listening to books. I'm not a big reader. But the people that read, they like reading over movies because it's the imagination factor. So when you're reading the book, like, you're creating what you think this book is and what it will look like. So when you're listening on the radio, like, you're imagining, like, oh, what's going on? You're smelling popcorn. You're seeing the bat. You hear the noise. You think, it's the imagination of seeing what isn't there.
No question.
So fun, guys. Anywho, want to get back to some sports here? Let's talk some sports.
Maybe that's why Aaron Rodgers does that ayahuasca.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very creative in the imaginative process.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, this guy, man.
Let's talk.
He can't stop ripping on the Lions. I'll play this clip for you. This is from the Pat McAfee show, right? He will not give the Lions any credit whatsoever.
None.
Take a listen.
Hey, I'm curious about Detroit's defense. Now, I think we talked about it before you guys played them, how what they'd shown on film so far this year was not that great. And then they obviously come back and they play great against you guys. Did they do anything different? I doubt they could change everything.
Look, no disrespect, but did they play great? I mean, we had 400 yards offense on them, moved the ball up and down the field. I threw an interception off the helmet. I threw an interception about 5 yards short of Dave. I mean, it wasn't like, I didn't play a great game. We still made a lot of mental mistakes. But I don't think they really stopped us. We had 3 possessions in the first half and went up and down the field. So, it's more about us, I think, than them.
Okay, really appreciate what you just said. Got a pretty good pop out of me there. Like, all right, let's.
But forget about what he said there. It was the look before he started talking.
Yeah.
But he said, you got to give him credit. He's like,
hey, no disrespect.
Yeah, no disrespect to that team.
But here comes the disrespect.
No disrespect to that team.
This is what I would say about. Let me assess Aaron Rodgers from my standpoint. Aaron is partially correct. He is partially correct. If you go back and look at the game, that first series of the game, man, they went down the field in 7 plays. And then they came, and then he throws a tip off a helmet, it's an interception, and then they come back the next drive, score a touchdown. Like, they were torching them early. You look at the pass that Aiden Hutchinson intercepted. It was an amazingly well drawn play. Aiden Hutchinson was not where he was supposed to be. Like, Bakhtiari was butt naked, wide open. It was a horrible throw. by Aaron Rodgers. Like he said, that's his fault.
It almost looked like he threw it on purpose.
Almost like he threw it to him on purpose.
Yeah.
And then it's a couple throws, and Alan Lazard drops a pass that legitimately would have set them up to, So, yes, the Detroit Lions didn't necessarily beat you. There were a lot of mistakes on your side. But here's where Aaron Rodgers could have took the time to be a consummate pro. Here's where Aaron Rodgers, in year 17, could have shouted out some young guys that are in the same division as him. This is when Aaron Rodgers could say, that was a good interception by Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 pick overall for the Lions. I think he's going to be a player. You saw that one guy, Kerby Joseph. Man, where'd he come from? He picked me off twice. That guy's going to be a player. Derek Barnes, I think, got to me. This is where you as Aaron Rodgers say, yeah, you know what? I think we beat ourselves, but shout out to the Detroit Lions, young guys in the draft picks. They played well. See, that's called a winning conversation.
He can't do that.
Because if Aaron says that, now he de-arms me from wanting to jump at him, and I'm like, you know what? You did make a bunch of mistakes, and the Lions, you beat yourself more than the Lions beat you, but then you gave credit to the players that played well. That's what Drew Brees does. That's what Tom Brady does. That's what Patrick Mahomes does. That's what you name the great quarterbacks that are also classy. Manning, another one of those guys. That's the conversation they have. But oh no, not Mr. Discount Double Check. It's his way or no way.
You know what I thought of when he talked about, we went up and down the field against the Lions, but they got lucky on a few plays. That to me was the definition of what you do when you're a loser, right? I automatically went back to the Lions game against the Bears. Remember the Lions at Chicago last year?
Yeah.
They were going up and down the field at will.
We left 21 points on the board.
Had the ball inside the 10-yard line 3 times.
Yep.
Yeah. Inside the 10. Yeah. Not the 20, not the red zone. Inside the 10 3 times and came away with 0 points. And what did we do? Give them credit for going up and down the field? No. We buried their asses for not being able to score inside the 10-yard line. This is about making plays. And I'll tell you, A-Rod, the Lions made the play.
Yeah, but
when it counted.
The only difference with that is the Lions do that all the time. Like, the Lions do that all the time. They almost scored touchdowns. They were inside the red zone. They almost did it. So it's the same old thing with them. So when they say, we got to close the door, it's nothing else behind that. Aaron Rodgers doesn't miss that throw. Aaron Rodgers does not.
He is now.
No, that's one game. And
they've lost 5 in a row.
But he wasn't missing throws in those 5 games. There were drops and there was no running and there were turnovers, not him. But in this particular game, this is the first one where he actually looked bad. He threw the pass too short twice. Could have been 2 touchdowns let up. He did that. It's on him. It's the first time it's ever happened with him in the Lions, and he's bamboozled. He's confused. Like, he's like, because you look at Aaron Rodgers' record against the Lions, it's what, 20-5? It's 20-5. He's like, man, of course he's going to think this way.
Have they beaten him 5 times?
Yeah, because they always win in December because they never play their guy.
Well, listen, look what he does to the Chicago Bears fans. He does the same thing to them.
But that's their fault, though. They were talking stuff to him. The lady called him a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. You can say that word on there. Lady called him that. Yeah. And so he, shoot. I would have said it, too.
All right. More on the Lions. There is one player in particular that, Dan Campbell is high on. You'll hear from the head coach about Kerby Joseph. We'll talk about that next and look ahead to the Chicago Bears.
NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
That's right. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Kerby Joseph and the Lions love the Folding Warehouse. Everyone loves it. In Hamtramck, get down there and get your fold on. 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 10 or 12 of your friends. Get a lane to yourself for 2 hours, run you $120. How about a bar? How about a drink? Multiple full bars. They got it all for you, plus a menu of over 100 beers to offer you, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
What's going on, everybody? JB here, letting you know about Planet Fitness and how they're your home to the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym has always been known to be clean, but now it is cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all of this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
$10? Yes, you guys, only $10 a month. So, join In Club today, or you can always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
To come along, because really, since he's, he started, which has been about 4 weeks now, he's just every week gotten a little bit better. And I think that's what it says is, that he's putting in the work and he's growing. And that's, just as far as the players, it continues to trend that way is the whole idea. But that's a credit to Brad and our scouting staff, to be able to project a player like that. And hopefully he continues to trend that way.
You got that right. Rodrigo trended in the right direction. Kerby Joseph trended in the right direction. Let's stay with that guy, Kerby Joseph, for a minute. The head coach really likes what he sees out of the Lions' third-round pick this year. And look, I mean, to come in and pick Aaron Rodgers off twice, and really make your presence felt.
That was an amazing interception.
Really
What about the pass deflection?
That's another. They saved the touchdown. Yeah. I mean, and Rodgers got really animated after that. It just, again, I mentioned this yesterday. I don't want to repeat myself, but when you win with those guys, it does give you a little bit of hope for the future.
Of course.
Instead of if it was some 31, 32-year-old free agent defensive back that's not going to be a part of your team in 2 or 3 years from now when you start trying to win, you got no hope with that guy. It gives you a little bit of hope.
Hey, first Lion rookie to win NFC Player of the Year. First ever Player of the Week.
That's really incredible. I mean, and Ndamukong Suh never won that award.
I guess not.
They didn't
Nick Fairley never won that award. Benny Blades never won
that award.
Not as a rookie. I'm surprised. Hold on, you sure? And Ndamukong never won as a rookie?
I'm not sure.
This is Detroit Lions PR.
Yeah, reading what they say. I would have thought he won, but I don't think he did.
Wow.
He was Defensive Player of the Year that year, or rookie. It's good to see this, and not only is it good to see your young guys, it's Kerby Joseph, it's Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Mitchell, guys out there making plays, Derek Barnes, but it's also against Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't matter that they play bad. It doesn't matter. It's still the NFL. You got to go out there and play. Aaron Rodgers lost to this young nucleus of players that Brad Holmes has selected and put together. It was good to see. Kerby Joseph, 2 interceptions. This is what he did in Illinois, though. Last year, Illinois, 5 interceptions, 67 tackles. He's a guy that will come up and meet you in the middle, but he's also a ball hawk that can read coverage and get up there and catch the ball. When he did that backflip in camp, I said, man, this looks like what I saw last year down in Champaign. So it's good to see that. That is the stuff that's like gets you excited. Like when you see a player like that, see that player is different. Like this isn't like a guy that maybe he got lucky and was in the right place and he caught a pick or something like that, and it's luck. That guy was in the right spot all game long. Like that guy played balls to the wall all game long. That was good to see, man. If I'm Brad Holmes, I'm patting myself on the back for that pick.
And got knocked out by a friendly fire. Jeff Okudah knocked him out. Remember, he had to go in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
He's wearing the red jersey today, but he should be fine, just like Amon-Ra St. Brown was. Josh Reynolds goes on IR, but they bring back Trinity Benson. They pick him off the Broncos practice squad. Again.
I have no thoughts on that. I have none.
I'm not.
I got no thoughts on
I thought they had enough wiles. Yeah. I'm not even worried about this. Here's a good question for both of you guys, Maz and Ryan. Right now, the Detroit Lions are 2-7 right now. 2-6. Excuse me, 2-6. I gave them an extra loss.
Should be 4-4.
Or they could be no wins.
Could be, yeah.
If you want to go that route, they could be no wins.
Could be.
It could be.
Could be 4-4, 0-8.
100%.
They're in the middle of that.
With that being said, what if you're the Detroit Lions, you're Dan Campbell, what are you playing for? What is your mindset for the second half of the season? Obviously, there's 9 games, but you're almost at that. What is your mindset? Because earlier it was, are we getting the number 1 pick? Now everybody's thinking quarterbacks. Or, I digress. Ryan, what's your mindset?
You have to win as many games as humanly possible, and it starts this week with the Chicago Bears. You have an opportunity to win your first road game, to win back-to-back games for the first time, and to do it all against a division opponent. I think this is, again, we use these terms must win. I just think it gives your organization, your coaching staff some validity.
Yeah.
You can do all this stuff at home, and that's great. If you want to be a factor in the National Football League, you've got to be able to take your game on the road and win games, and especially win games in the division. This is a really, for as far as 2-6 goes, this is as big a game at 2-6 as you can possibly have. And again, just to give you some confidence, to give you a little bit of hope too, because there is half the season to play. You are only 2 games out of a wild card. Now again, what we do on the outside of the building, they can laugh at us, and everybody out there could talk about this, but inside the building, you have to have a belief in what you're doing, and it's a whole hell of a lot easier to come in after wins and learn from wins than it is to come in and learn from a loss, or to keep saying this, oh, we were so close, we're this close. Well, when you start doing that against teams that are kind of in your same realm, I think it becomes difficult. I don't want to say this is a must-win because it's not.
Yeah.
But in terms of growth, I do think this is a very important game.
This is what I think about this game. The Detroit Lions are a bad football team. Let's start there. Last week was a good win because it was a win. Kerby Joseph, the young guys played well, but they're still a bad team. They were in bad spots all game long. Dan Campbell put them in bad situations with down the distance, decision-making, etc. Bad team. With that being said, the NFC absolutely stinks. But you know what this would do? With the Lions coming here with the mindset, you know what, we just got to win on the division opponent, like you talked about. Aaron Rodgers, he wants to complain, and Pat McAfee tell him he can go do you know what. Now we go and we beat Chicago Bears, like you said, on the road, and Justin Fields and the guy that last week, it looks like Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears in terms of their working together, them being on the same page, is turning that corner. You go to Chicago, you shut Justin Fields down, you shut that down because they're not passing the ball, he's just running. You shut that down. Now your defense gets more energy. Now they get more confidence. Now your squad gets more confidence. Now guys come back. Now you make a run at it. And I'm not saying run to the playoffs. I wouldn't say anything foolish like that. But what I'm saying is Dan Campbell is now learning how to win. The team is learning how to win, and this momentum in terms of getting as many wins as you can will carry you into the offseason and carry you into next year. In order to win, you got to know how to win, and I think that's what the important lesson for this second half of the year is: learn how to win and close out games that you can.
Hey, that's all good, well and said. Well, good. I'm happy. Of course, I want my team to win, but not this year. Okay, because every win now gets you that much further away from taking your top 3 quarterback. If you win this game, now the Bears are worse than you. And the Bears have a ton of picks coming up as well.
But the Bears don't need a quarterback.
I know that.
Yeah.
It's just another team that you have to jump ahead of to get, because there's going to be other teams that want to get ahead, and the Bears could trade with them. It pains me to say, not really. I'm so used to it that it really don't bother me when they lose. I want them to play hard, and this year, I don't want them to win another damn game. I don't. I'm sorry. That's just me. Right. Last week, I was watching that game. I was laughing almost. I was like, this is a comedy of errors game, and they're going to wind up. This is in the first half. Me and my buddy are watching this game. And I'm like, they're going to lose at the end. It's going to be a touchdown. Yeah. They'll lose by 1. We always had it planned out. And what happens? Green Bay drives all the way down, and they can't get in. But I didn't care if they did, because if they did, that's fine. We did the best we could there. As happy as I am to see the Lions celebrate in the locker room. As a fan, I want the 5 best players I can get next year.
Yeah, I understand that, Maz, and Ryan, my apologies. I understand that, Maz, 100%. But so you just want these guys to keep losing? You want the makeup of the mind of some young guys to be losing. Like, what you do young in the NFL is very impressionable. It stays with you. Like, it takes a while to learn how to win, and once you start winning, you want to keep winning. So that's why I say
that's what I'm afraid of.
Okay, but with that being said, that's when you got to trust Brad Holmes. Like, we brought Brad Holmes here. We give Brad Holmes all this love. Say he helped orchestrate that whole deal out there with Snead and the Los Angeles Rams. He found Cooper Kupp. He found all these other picks. He was very intricate into that system. That's why we brought him here, because we say, you know what? He can be that GM for us. So if we believe that he's that GM, well, these Lions need to win some games, and then he needs to figure out how to get your quarterback in the draft. That's what his job is.
Okay.
Hey, Maz?
Yeah.
In the last 4 years, the Lions have had 5 first-round picks. They've selected 2nd, 12th, 7th, 3rd, and 8th. How's that going for you?
It's not.
So what does it matter where you pick?
Yeah.
Where does it matter where you pick?
I just
1, 5,
listen,
20?
Man, I just want my quarterback.
I tell you what, I told you guys that the Raiders were the Lions of the AFC. Did you see what came out last year? All 5 of their first-round picks from 2018 till now are no longer on the team. Don't feel bad, Mavs. There are other boo-boo storms too.
But the Raiders have a history.
This is true, but a long time ago.
And the Lions of the AFC don't disrespect my team.
Guys, we're gonna go around the NFL. We'll do that coming up. Also, what 6-win
as an AFL team?
Look,
I've been in back-to-back AFC championships.
Gentlemen, there's 8 6-win teams in the NFL right now. Which ones are locks to make the playoffs and which ones will not make the playoffs? We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan. Allocation coming in for lease and purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has also over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some with less than 500 miles on them. So they're like new. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At Alta,
Uptime, it matters.
Alta Equipment's got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, you know who to call. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
Alta Rentals got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
All right, guys. I think this is kind of a fun thing to do, and it's basically a contenders or a pretenders. There's 8 teams in the NFL that have 6 wins, not 7 or 8 or anything like that, but 6. Some teams 6-3, some teams 6-2. So let's take a look. I want you to tell me which teams are contenders or pretenders right now.
Do one team at a time and go around the room.
We'll go one at a time.
Now, when you say contenders or pretenders, is this to win it all?
I'm just talking about playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs or they're not going to make the playoffs.
We need to make it different than that, because if you're going to say make the playoffs, then every team up there is going to make the playoffs. Like I feel we should do like maybe make
How about win a game in the playoffs?
Win a game or make it to the conference championship or something.
Fine.
Like that. Well,
however you want to define it.
Yeah.
You can go for it.
All right, if I'm saying teams that have the chance to conference championship, I'm going with Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, the Dolphins, the Ravens, and Seahawks. I'm going to throw Seahawks in there.
So, of the 6-win teams, I think the 4 teams that are locks to make the playoffs are the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
Did you say the Cowboys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the Cowboys are locked to make the playoffs in the NFC. I think the Jets, Seahawks, Giants, and Ravens will most likely make the playoffs, but I do not think they are lead pipe, just stone cold, hardcore locks. I think Baltimore is really an intriguing case to me. I think Baltimore, and I forgot who said this, I don't know if it was Tannenbaum or somebody, but Baltimore could win the Super Bowl and they could not make the playoffs.
Yeah, it was Tannenbaum.
They have so many injuries. I am so intrigued by Baltimore for some reason. You want to talk about lack of sexiness. They're a one-man team right now. This guy's got no help, Lamar Jackson. The Jets, is Zach Wilson the guy that can keep this thing going for an entire season? Is this a bit of a mirage for him? I'm interested to see that. I think Geno Smith is really playing good football. So yeah, that's where I'd go right now. Chiefs, Bills, Cowboys, and Dolphins, yes. Ravens, Seahawks, Giants, Jets, perhaps.
Hey, you got a half a season left. On looking at all those great logos, there's only 2 that are surefire locks to go places. That's the Chiefs and Bills on that entire list. The other teams got question marks. I put the Dolphins at 3rd.
Where's the Dolphins question mark?
I put the Dolphins at 3rd.
Do you have them as a lock, or they're like?
No, I don't have them as a lock.
Why wouldn't they be a lock for you right now?
I just don't. Well, I'm going to go with experience first of all. I don't think they have the playoff experience in the past. I have Mike McDaniel. We really don't know how good he is.
Tyreek Hill has a Super Bowl ring.
I know that. That's one guy.
Tyreek has a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, that's one guy. He's MVP.
Your left tackle has a Super Bowl ring. Terran Armstead.
I'm just saying, if you're giving me 2 locks, it's the Chiefs and Bills.
Here's the reason
you
why
got as many locks as you want.
Here's the reason why they wouldn't be a lock. I mean, there's only really one team.
If Tua gets knocked out, are they a lock anymore?
If any quarterback up here gets mashed, don't do that. If any quarterback gets knocked out, they're not a lock. So don't do that.
Here's where they're not a lock. Here's where they're not a lock.
Except maybe Buffalo, because they got Case Keenum.
Just in a scenario, I don't believe this will happen, but it's possible, not probable, but possible, if the Chargers somehow catch fire. But I don't like the Chargers' schedule. I think the Chargers have a really tough road here.
So then why you bring them up?
Because it's possible. Just because something's not probable doesn't mean it can't be possible.
Once again, pay attention to what you see and not what you think. But just like I tell you about the Detroit Lions, I said, watch the Lions. They lose, they lose, they lose. So finally they win. You got it right. The Dolphins are 5-0 under Tua. Tua is the #1 quarterback in the league in QBR. Their running game got better this past weekend because they went and got Jeff Wilson, which increased the backfield with Raheem Mostert. Both those guys were on the same team, same offense with Mike McDaniel, who was their offensive coordinator. They needed somebody to get to the quarterback so that they wouldn't have to blitz in the playoffs, because if you blitz Josh Allen, if you blitz Mahomes, they kill you. What did? They went and got Bradley Chubb. This team is legit.
I missed the part where I stuttered and said possible, not probable.
Yeah.
I don't believe it'll happen. I'm just giving you a scenario in which it could. The Jets are kind of the same. Are the Jets a lot? I don't know anything about their quarterback.
I'll tell you.
I don't know anything about their quarterback.
Zach Wilson had a better game last week. He was more efficient. I think the big thing for Zach Wilson is he's throwing interceptions. He's taking sacks. He's beat the Jets. Last week they told him, they say, look, we're going to run the ball. We're going to play good defense. You don't beat us, okay? Just throw the ball. We tell you to throw it. Have a nice, relaxed game. Don't beat us. We'll put you in good spots, and that's what he did. He had 1 touchdown pass. He and Garrett Wilson connected for 92 yards. I think he finished with 160. It wasn't sexy, but he didn't have that many missed passes. But if you look at what the Jets did to the Buffalo Bills, see, this is where everybody's talking about, the Bills and the Chiefs and maybe not the Dolphins. I take the Dolphins over the Bills just like I did, and this is why. The New York Jets exposed the Buffalo Bills. They showed you how to beat the Buffalo Bills. 1, they can't stop the run. They can't stop the run. So 2, You extend drives by running the ball, pass the ball, and as you extend drives, Ryan and Monty, who's not on the field?
Yeah.
Josh Allen. And then when Josh Allen does get on the field, what is the one thing they don't have? They don't have a running game. They cannot run the ball. They run the ball with Josh Allen, and he's starting to get nicked up. Whether it's his shoulder, whether it's his elbow, whether it was a touchdown run where he got chipped on the shoulder a little bit when he broke that tackle. He's the only running back they have that is getting yards. That's not how you win the Super Bowl. They're going to struggle, and the Jets showed you how to beat them.
Raheem Hines really hasn't been let go yet. I mean, last week was his first game with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Let's give him a chance. Maybe he can get that running game going. He's a pretty good back. I know he's better catching the ball than running it, but he might be able to help them out.
And again, the Jets, and granted they've won 2 of their last 3 games, but the Jets offensively are scuffling a little
100%.
bit here. 20 points, 17 points, 16 points. That's a tough 3-game stretch. Now they're playing good defenses, but this is the NFL. You're going to see more often than not, you're going to see some resistance, especially in the division that the Jets play.
You know what we probably should have done today? Instead of these teams, we probably should have put up the teams that have less than 6 wins, like 3, 4, 5. Like, do you think the Browns getting Deshaun Watson in a couple of weeks can start to make a run?
We can do that
Stuff
tomorrow.
like that. Maybe we'll try to do that tomorrow.
Because then I can talk about my Broncos.
There we go.
We can do
That's
that
right.
tomorrow.
The Broncos would be in that talk.
3-5.
The Broncos would be in that talk.
All right. Kansas City, Buffalo, get them out of here. Which team can win the Super Bowl on this list? The Super Bowl. The Super Bowl.
Only one. Cowboys. It's the only one. It's the only one. I mean, you look at it like this. They're gonna win. Oh, speaking of the sweepstakes, I was going somewhere with it. That's what I was gonna say. They're gonna
get them.
They're gonna win the Odell Beckham sweepstakes.
If they get them, they got a chance.
They'll win that. They'll have Gallup. They'll have CD. They'll open up CD Lamb a little more, and also the tight end Schultz. That'd be good. Did you see who owns the Joe's Service Store where the ticket was bought? Demata Pecco,
Michigan State.
That's his father-in-law.
We're the same. We're the same class. We
How about
played against
that?
each other. Yeah,
He
that was
picked up
dope.
$1 million for selling that ticket.
Yeah, no, and it's his store too. So it all goes down.
That's pretty cool.
If you win,
I feel like you should get more.
Yeah, I do too. Like so,
$2 billion.
Okay, so the numbers don't change. The jackpots do. If you win the Powerball on tonight, because I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. If you win the Powerball tonight, are you disappointed that you'd get $20 million instead of $2 billion?
Wow.
I'm not disappointed. You walk away with $8 million probably after taxes. You walk away with $8 million as opposed to $800 million.
You know what? Whoever says they wouldn't be is a liar. Whoever says,
so disappointed.
Whoever says they wouldn't be disappointed.
I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
Maz, you are too, and I'm going to tell you why.
I'm not lying.
Okay, watch this. Whenever this situation happens, whatever it is in life where, you come in and you could have had something more if you did it at this time, or if you would have done something, these are casino terms if you see where I'm going. Like, you're like, even though you hit, or even though you win, or even though you get a free sandwich or free whatever, it's like, dang, man, if I would have came a little early, I could have got 2 sandwiches. That's always this mindset when you happen. So I guarantee you, if you win the Powerball tonight, first thing out of your mouth is, yes! I wanted a day late.
Guess what? I'd still be happy.
But that wasn't up for debate.
Or if the one ticket didn't match last week, this would be worth $2.5 billion probably, and you would walk away with $1 billion instead of a measly $8 million. Got to take a break. We'll go around the NFL next, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Thanksgiving is all about family and friends. That's why Woodward Sports wants to send you and your crew front row for the Thanksgiving Day football game.
Easy there. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be in Detroit losing a football game right now?
That's right. You and 3 people that you're thankful for sitting in row number number 1. So close you can hear the action, smell the excitement, and taste the glory of Detroit football. All you have to do to enter is retweet or share our post on Twitter and IG and tag 3 of your friends or family. If all 3 of those people are following Woodward Sports 2 and we pick your name, you and your crew will all get the best seats inside Ford Field. So hop on Twitter and Instagram and tag your crew. And we'll see you Thanksgiving Day at Ford Field. Brought to you by Lady Jane's and Custom Health Centers.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You never think anybody's going to do anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Talking about Twitter, the blue check came out today. It's one of those things where, now you could just pay for a blue check mark. Like if you want an Adam Schefter blue check.
And that's not going to ruin Twitter? You do know who some of his partners are. Just throwing it out there. I'll tell you off air. But anytime someone wants to control the number one site for what people do, talk, communicate, that's not a system of control. Elon Musk is about this. He's about to F some stuff.
But what
up.
about Jacque?
You said what?
What about Jacque? That's what Jacque did. Jacque Dorsey, the creator of Twitter. He created Twitter. He was in that role. He was doing that.
Yeah, but it starts as one thing. But Elon Musk is a different animal. It's a different beast.
How much did he pay?
I don't remember what the final number was.
25?
Yeah.
It was more than Powerball, right?
It was more than the Powerball. It was more than the Powerball. Hey, let's go around the NFL. There's going to be a lot of people duped. We'll see what happens. I don't give a shit.
You know what tonight is, guys, on HBO?
What's that?
Hard Knocks is back. The Arizona Cardinals are on HBO midseason, and I don't know. I'm going to watch it. It tapes on my DVR automatically. I'm not going to sit down and lock in for it.
I'll give it a look.
I'm going to watch it.
There's nothing that intrigues me about
our guys are running that show. Remember our guys?
There's nothing that intrigues me about the Arizona Cardinals.
I know. It's too bad that they're not a decent team.
Did you see Buda Baker? Did you see the?
Yeah.
Did you see the Buda Baker?
I'd love to show it, but we couldn't show it.
That was amazing. Basically, they've been struggling. They've been losing. They haven't gotten it going. Buda Baker's their leader. He's their captain, Pro Bowler, safety. He had one of those Jamal Williams type speeches after the game, just like, man, we're better than this. I'm tired of losing. It was powerful. It was some good stuff, man. I hope they get that thing turned around because he really poured into his teammates, talking about I love the franchise, I love you guys, I just want to do better. It was a good message.
No doubt. All right, let's go around the NFL.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, very good. I usually hear music.
I hear music.
Oh, you do? Oh, maybe it's just not in my ears.
All right, we talked a little bit about the Raiders. They cut Jonathan Abrams, or they're going to release him. He will be the fourth of their number one picks, their last 4 number one picks. They're all gone from their Raiders. The silver and black.
You know what that gets you?
It's just not back. I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
That gets you fired.
What happened?
That's why Mike Mayock is not picking players anymore.
What the hell happened to the Raiders? Well, I remember at the beginning of the year when they lost. I'm like, this team's going to make the playoffs, and then they get shut out 2 weeks ago, embarrassingly, to the Saints. And then last week they blew a 17-0 lead again.
What's the common denominator? What's the common denominator for the last 8 years for the Las Vegas / Oakland Raiders?
What's that?
Derek Carr. There's your answer. Derek Carr's your answer.
So you don't believe in him?
I believe him like I believe in Kirk Cousins. I know they're going to give me 4,700.
What happened to Devontae Adams and him going back in time?
Devontae had 160 yards last week and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, in the first half.
It's still 160 and 2 touchdowns. What more do you want Devontae Adams to do?
3 or 4 touchdowns.
What are you talking about? See, this is the type of stuff you say about wide receivers. Like, well, I don't know, 3 touchdowns, 160 and 2 touchdowns. That ain't good enough.
Give me 260 and 3.
I'm just saying, what happened that supposedly these guys are going to really put the Raiders on the map?
I think Josh McDaniels sucks too, man.
All I'm saying is Devontae is doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that's
Never
it for the
blame
Raiders.
the wide receiver.
Earlier today,
Never blame the wide receiver.
I blame wide receivers all the time.
Earlier today,
Alan Lazard dropped that pass against the Lions.
That's right.
I'll do it again. Earlier today, Pete Carroll might have thrown a little shade at Russell Wilson. Here was the quote from Pete Carroll. He says, if you notice, Geno Smith, is going off the wristband, and that's a big help. It smoothed things out, sped up stuff, and cleaned things up. That's the part of it. And we never did that before. There was resistance to that. So we didn't do it. What Shane Waldron says, he tells Geno, do this, and Geno just does it. So he kind of threw a little shade Russell Wilson.
Can I do the Russell Wilson comeback for that?
Please do.
And Russell Wilson, on not wearing a wristband in Seattle, won a lot of games without one on the wrist. You know what alley-oop is, Ryan Ermanni?
Yes.
An alley-oop, for those that don't know, is a play in basketball where one player on the team throws the ball up and another player on that same team catches it and scores. It can be a layup, it can be a shot. You see John Randall's crazy stuff. Usually it's a dunk. Pete Carroll threw the best alley-oop to Russell Wilson to dunk the ball right back in his face. If you're going to leave an open-ended comment like that or a shade diss, you better really diss him. Because you allow him to come back and say, well, I won a lot of games doing it that way. And he's not lying. He's not lying. Russell won a lot of games for that team. They won a Super Bowl. And if Pete Carroll would have been smart and ran the ball instead of passing it, they would have 2 Super Bowl wins. Pete, enjoy what you got going on now. Stop worrying about what Russell is doing.
I don't think you need to take a shot at your old quarterback.
I agree. For what? You're winning.
Yeah, right. You don't need to take a shot at it. Just say that Geno's doing what we want him to do.
100%.
Geno's doing everything we could possibly ask him to do. We're very happy with how things are progressing. This is exactly what we envisioned in training camp. This is why we didn't draft a quarterback. We had a belief in Geno Smith. Yeah. He's our guy, and he's playing well.
Right. You know how old Pete Carroll is?
73 years old.
Too damn old to be that petty.
Right.
Too damn old to be that petty.
But how about what would you say? You know, when you get old, you just say whatever you want to say.
Exactly.
Maybe they just didn't get along. Maybe.
Yeah, but
remember last year how it all fell apart?
I understand that, but there's also a level of class. Like there's a level.
Preach to the choir.
There's a level of class.
Preaching to the choir.
And Pete Carroll, with the exception of when he went after Mark Sanchez for leaving early, he did that. That was some BS. And Pete Carroll is all class.
And didn't he
sneak out of USC before stuff got hot
and sleep with a couple of co-eds?
Hey, man, that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying,
it was consensual.
It's not. Yes, it was consensual. But what I'm saying is, class and Pete Carroll isn't like a word that
I was messing with you.
No, I get it. I'm just adding Pete Carroll, and I'd play for Pete Carroll, but it's a bad look for him.
Remember when he took his shirt off when DK came in with his shirt off and stuff? He knows how to play.
He's fun when he's winning.
He's a smart guy.
No doubt.
Smart guy. Matthew Stafford, this just out from the Rams camp. He is on concussion protocol. I don't remember him getting his bell rung last week. I just remember him not playing very well. You do?
Yeah.
I don't remember. He definitely got it wrong.
Yeah.
I think he was thinking too much.
You think?
I think he was thinking too much and gave himself a headache. No, he did get cracked. You're 100% right. I want to say what it was. Their whole team is injured. I can't even think of the defense. Everybody's hurt on that team. My God. Who the hell was it?
Not sure. Is that it, man?
Man, what else we got around in the let's talk Indianapolis Colts, man.
Dan Orlovsky has not ruled out joining Jeff Saturday's staff for the Indianapolis Colts. He'd be willing to give it all up to go coach with Jeff Saturday in Indy. So what do you think about that?
This is what I think about this. Let me start here. Okay, I'm gonna bypass that. I'm gonna come back to that. If this was just a situation where, hey, you know what, we suck. I want to get Frank Reich out of here. I'm gonna get my I'll figure out my head coach in the off season. I'm gonna start vetting the process now. Hey Jeff, man, just come in here, just finish it out for me. This would be a good look on your resume. May make you want to coach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then, you know, at the end of the season, it's over with. If that was the case, I'm cool with this, because at the end of the day, they can't do any worse than what Frank Reich was doing. But when you say, as Jim Irsay, come and coach for the next 8 games, hope it's more. See, this is a way to cheat the vetting process of hiring new coaches. Because now you essentially can fire your head coach during the season, then you can hire your own interim head coach and then make him head coach without going through the hiring process. If that is the case, that's a BS.
They might as well hire Adam Schefter for offensive line coach too. I mean, bring everybody. Bring everybody. We'll take a break. Come right back.
Come on, Books.
Before this, from Chili Peppers Tanning.
That's right, buddy. 27 locations, 2 right here on Woodward, and more on the way. The cleanest salons in the D. Got to get down there and check out the Chili Pepper Girls. They will treat you the right way, and they'll also save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning and more. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters is at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Centron is amazing. And right now they have partnered with the Detroit Red Wings to bring you energizing the community. Right now you can get their limited edition 6-pack. 6-packs, I say cranberry, sugar-free, and the classic. CentronWorld.com/Red Wings is where you can get this limited edition pack of Centron. They are trying to re-energize the community. So they partnered up with WoodwardSports.com as well as the Detroit Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, and Lions. So why don't you help them re-energize the community? Drink it, live it with Centron.
So, did you see this Isaiah Thomas story? It's been trending on Twitter and other platforms. Isaiah Thomas calls out Michael Jordan, says the feud is not over until he gets a public apology. The beef is going to go on for a long time. And basically what was going on, Isaiah Thomas was being interviewed, and he says he's watching this documentary, The Last Dance, with his family, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, Michael Jordan calls out Isaiah. And Isaiah says, you know, what an a-hole. And so that's the point of the interview that got clipped. Isaiah Thomas calls Michael Jordan an a-hole. But the whole context behind Isaiah's comment was, here, I'm sitting here watching this documentary about Michael Jordan, and he is calling me an a-hole. Meanwhile, I'm watching 10 episodes of him being an a-hole.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like pot, meet kettle, or kettle, meet pot, or whatever it is. I don't know. I love feuds.
Yeah.
Why again? It's 2 years ago that this doc came out.
They took the quote. They asked a question. Anytime you ask a question, it's just like anytime when you interview Jalen Rose or Chris Webber, what's one question that's always going to get asked in any interview?
Are you guys
still talking? Yeah. And then you see a news story written about, well, Jalen Rose still does not talk to Chris Webber.
Says he's ready. It's on Chris. Right. It's always something.
Right.
You know what? And this for me is I'm gonna throw this to Isaiah. He did a great job of actually providing you the whole content. I saw that tweet. But look, Isaiah, man, I would just like don't answer any more questions about Michael Jordan. It's over, because it's clear that him not making that dream team, Michael Jordan being able to be that kept him off the dream team, is gonna bother him for the rest of his life. Just don't even talk about it, Isaiah. Like, Jordan's moved on. He doesn't care about you. Like, you should have moved on. You and Magic patched it up. Isn't that good enough? Call Magic. That's what you need to do next time. Call your buddy Magic, man.
Yeah, the whole quote, I have it now. This guy comes on television and he says he hates me, and then he calls me a bleep hole. And then I proceed to watch a whole documentary about him being a bleep hole.
Yeah.
That's the quote. I don't know. Feuds are man, you would never... Would you see that in today's game? Like, where players hate each other?
No.
Like, you would never see it.
No.
Because these players...
They love each other.
Well, they're playing
They're
with
boys.
each other the whole way up. They're
Yeah.
going to the same camps. They're all boys together. It's much different from different times.
Yeah, it's very true, but not only that, though, because you got to think about it. Those guys back then played all the time. Like, Isaiah and Magic played all around the country together. Jordan played with those guys. There was games in Houston, games in L.A., games in Chicago, games in Atlanta. They would travel all off-season, all summer, and bring the games to courts and sometimes cities that didn't have basketball teams, and they just run and play in their hoop. They knew each other just like they do now, how LeBron's on the same AAU team as Dwight Howard and Kendrick Perkins. They know each other. The difference is, back then there was no free agency,
and there was no like AAU teams though coming up either though in the younger years.
Yeah,
I mean, it was Isaiah Aguirre in Chicago, and that's
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So like back then, you're staying on the same team. Like, you're on the literally same team till your contract runs out. You just want to compete. Now you can use that friendship like back in the day. Like, Isaiah can now hit Magic up and be like, "Yo, man, you trying to come over here and win this chip in Detroit? Looks like it's over in L.A. Why don't you come out here?" They didn't do that back then, and that's why there were more rivalries. Like, now, man, LeBron and everybody in the league talk every day, trying to figure out who they're gonna play for next year.
That's all they talk about.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's it. It's not the same.
And maybe the money that they make is just so different now that they can only associate with themselves.
Yeah.
You know, back then, I mean, what did Isaiah make in his playing career? $10 million?
Yeah, not this.
You know, I mean,
probably made more than that. I'd say 25.
Hey, Pistons wise, they play at the Knicks tomorrow. The Pistons are on a one-game win streak here. And you go back to Ime Udoka, who is not going to sign with the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets are going to go with Jacque Vaughn, in case you missed it. Jacque Vaughn's interim tag is off. He is staying with the Nets. That means Udoka is still out there. Braylon brought up the facts that the Boston Celtics might have put their foot down and made this a little more difficult. What do you want to see out of the Pistons the rest of this year? I mean, they're not a playoff team, but what do you want to see out of them going forward? They're playing the Knicks again. Knicks routed them. Remember the first weekend that they played?
They lost by 22.
What do you want now?
I want to see them be in games. Like, right now, they're getting blown out every game. Like, they're legitimately losing by 22 or more every game that they lose. I want to see these guys be in games. They don't have to win them, because right now, this is that young team. They're young. They're trying to figure things out, and I get that. But be competitive. Like, man, I want to be in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left, and it's a 6-point game. You know, you may lose by 10 or 11. That's fine. But I want to watch a game, and you guys are in it. You got some guys that can shoot now. Sadiq Bey is shooting at a better clip. Bojan Bogdanovic has been everything advertised and more. Cade is coming around, so Jaden's struggling a little bit. I want to see them be in some games in the fourth quarter. I don't want to turn on at halftime and they're already down 25. I think that's what I want to see. They don't have to win games, but just be more competitive.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, obviously. I would like them to kind of hang around that 10th spot.
That ain't gonna happen.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is they didn't win their 5th game until January last year.
Yeah.
Don't win your 5th game at least at the end of November.
How about in a couple weeks? How about in a couple days?
What I'm saying is you've got 20 more days in the month of November, 21 days in the month of November.
You already have 3 wins.
Just win 2 more this month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Small
maybe
wins.
win 3 more in December. Like, get to 8 by the end of the year. I think, what did you say about the Lions earlier? Until you win, you don't know. You don't know how to win. Yeah, you don't know how to win until you win. Like, just win 30. I don't think it's that hard to win 30 in the NBA.
Shouldn't be, but I mean, he made
30-52.
If they continue to get blown out, does he make a coaching change?
I think you got to think about it.
Like this year.
No, I don't know.
Who's on the bench for them? Like, who's on the assistant coaching staff for them?
There's one guy I always see. I don't know his name.
That's terrible. We about to get in trouble again.
Never ask a question you don't know the answer for.
Braylon, never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
That's my Ben Wallace. There he is. Ben Wallace. He's on here.
I used to have a guy I worked with, and he'd be in the studio. I'd be on the other side of the glass, and a caller would ask a question, and the host didn't know it, so he's like stalling, and he'd be like this to me. Pull the caller down. Pull the caller down.
Oh, my God. Never ask a question you don't know the answer. Get us out of here,
get us out of here, buddy. Finish it up.
Finish up, man.
I'm finishing up. All right, Ermanni and Edwards with me, Maz, Fletch, and JB. It's a Wednesday tomorrow. Well, we're going to do a little more extra NFL tomorrow. We got fill in the blank. Well, we don't have fill in the blank Friday
yet. 10.
Top 10 Thursday. What's Braylon going to bring to the table tomorrow? And we're going to do our picks a day earlier this time. We got to change the mojo a little bit. We haven't had the best week last week, so we're going to change it up.
I got cheated.
We're going to do our picks tomorrow and a lot more, and I'm going to have a guest for you tomorrow. That's it. We haven't had a lot of guests this week. I'm going to find us an excellent guest tomorrow. Anyone on our Woodward Sports
guests last
anyone
week,
on our Woodward Sports chat, tell me who you want on the show tomorrow. I'll see what I can do for you. But for Ryan, for Braylon, for Fletch, and for JB, I'm Maz. We'll see you tomorrow right here on WoodwardSports.com.
Get Kyrie Irving for me.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.